All right. So yes, now we are live, right? Let
We
me
are
check on
live.
LinkedIn.
Good
And
morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends in which part of the world you are. I'm Elena Buriani, CEO and co founder of Leah Growing People. I'm very happy to have here with me today Mahmoud Tatari. We are in two different parts of the Arabic world. I'm connecting from Dubai, and Mahmoud is connecting from.
Morocco.
Yay! So it's so beautiful. This is really what I love about Leah. We are everywhere and we are together with so many different culture, background, languages, and there's really the beauty of connection. So I wanted to have Mahmoud here with me today. First of all, to formally welcome him and also publicly welcome him as a new member in our community in another part of the world. So we are tapping into Africa as well, and I'm really happy about. So there's a lot to celebrate, and also because Mahmoud, it will come in few days also to visit us in UAE. So we're very excited, and we really want to share with you some of the reason why Mahmoud is coming over and a little bit more about Mahmoud. As you can see, he is a growth marketing coach. What does it mean? It might be also new for somebody. So that's why we have him with us today. Mahmoud, do you want to add something? And welcome.
Thank you, Elena, for hosting me today. It's really a big pleasure to be with you. It's my first experience participating in this live talk with Leia Growing People. I'm also so excited and happy to be part of this community. And now I'm getting ready to my trip to Dubai in like on Monday. I'll be there on Monday. Time goes
Wow, it's
fast,
so
and yeah,
very
ready for this live today.
amazing. So I think that, before we go anywhere else, the most important question we want to answer is what is growth marketing? Before we even go into talking about what is a growth marketing coach, but what is growth marketing and why we want to focus on this tonight?
Amazing. Actually, yes, to bring a simple definition of what is growth marketing, I'm gonna break it down into two words. You know, there's growth and then there's marketing. So we starting from growth is typically like this continuous flow of actions that we do on every day that will help us move forward in our life. Things that we do to grow, to learn new stuff, to test new stuff, and to go out of our comfort zone. And this is how we start growing. On the other side, if we put the word marketing, now we focus on those activities that we do on business in order to increase our brand awareness or to get more leads and more customers or to grow our revenues or to get more customer referrals. So if you put them now together, growth and marketing are these marketing activities and this continuous process based on experimentation and data to drive business growth in a repeatable and predictable way. And this is what is growth marketing is all
I
about.
might have. Yeah. So I've been also asked why a company such Leah should talk about growth marketing or should focus on this topic. And we have discussed a little bit about it. We have our brainstorming around that.
Yeah.
Why is that so important? Also for leader and executive that are, in our target audience. What can you say about this?
Yeah, absolutely. Like today, if you talk about organizations being startups, businesses, or large companies, there is a fast changing world in terms of technology, consumer habit, or buying habit, or even marketing trends. So those companies and those growth leaders and marketing leaders, head of growth, this kind of um, people working in those companies, They want like a sustainable way to drive business growth continuously. Because as we go into this fast changing world, we want to keep up with these changes and keep driving growth as we go. So the thing is, like, how should we do it? How should we do it like more efficiently and to be a structured and organized way, to be aligned with all the team, having the right people doing their job correctly and efficiently, being aligned with the business objectives, and to drive more results. All these things together is why today this topic is very important and why we should learn about it.
And on top of that, I also want to add from my personal experience that lately I've been working with a lot of executive that comes as head of marketing or as a CMO in their organization. And I have also learned to get to know more about certain typical dynamic that might happen in team that work such in a very innovative and high pace environment. So I really wanted to provide them with some unlight and supports on those matter. When we were talking about growth, growth is the end goal, right? But we also realized that there are several blockers to those goals, to those growth, and to achieve this goal of sustainable and long-standing growth. And between the many blockers we might encounter, we definitely want to talk about three of them, the one that we thought were more important, which are the mindset, the people, and the systems. Can you tell us more about those growth blockers?
Yeah, absolutely. So, working with many companies and organizations on growth and analyzing like what is stopping them from driving more results. Typically, it's all about these three factors: the mindset, how people like embrace new challenges and find new opportunities; the people, the human side of the company that will actually put things to work and how they want to get aligned and work all together to foster collaboration and communication. And then the systems, like, okay, we have the mindset, we have the people, but what is that process you want to go through in order to get results in a repeatable way? And most of companies and organizations, they have at least one of these three. So we're gonna go further and break each one of them and start with the growth mindset first, and talk about people and the systems, so we can analyze and understand how each part of them work.
Exactly. So when we were thinking about mindset, mindset is something that you don't change overnight, right?
Hmm.
First of all, the most important thing is understand which part of my mindset needs to change. You know, what is that area that I need to address, and how can I embrace overall this transformation, because it requires focus, it requires clarity, and it requires clear objective. So where are we going, you know? So when we want to go through a transformation towards developing any type of mindset, but in this case a growth mindset, we really want to embrace it overall. How can we do that?
Yeah, very interesting question. The growth mindset, as you say, is like the first pillar. You know, if we want to get growth and explore these new opportunities and go out of our comfort zone, these business as usual activities, want to go into new things. So first of all, first thing we need to do is to be open to new challenges. Like accept the fact that we want to go explore new things, and even if they seem like a challenge to us, but we rather consider those challenges and those obstacles as opportunities. So once we start transforming and this perspective, moving from this is a challenge and we see it like this is an opportunity, I can get out of it, that the very first shift in mindset to go into more growth mindset. Second thing we should do, we should think about uh, resistance and persistence through obstacles. Everything that we face in life and in business, we have two ways to deal with them. We either like sit back and do nothing, or we find our way through it. And the fact that we persist into those obstacles, we start looking for solutions, what we can do, and how we can do it other way, how we can do it differently. Also, what we can do not to embrace this growth mindset is to be open to learn from criticism and failures. You are in a team working with other people as a second blocker. So if you're in a team and you're afraid of not doing things right, or you're afraid of failing, and you are not open to listen to feedback or criticism from other team members, then you want to stay in this fixed zone and never go out from that zone. So in order to do it, this open mindedness to criticism and to learn from failures is another way you can embrace this growth mindset.
On
Also, one
another
thing,
level, I think that,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt, on
yeah, sure,
another things we were talking about that could really, really boost, once you have made sure that you are open to try, go a little bit out of your comfort zone, and also open to accept failure, criticism, and also, why not, success, because I also realize that
absolutely,
sometimes we can also be aware of being successful, and this is the the most funny things. Sometimes I also find clients who are scared of making it, scared of achieving success. What if I'll make it? What is the feeling of really being successful, and how can I sustain then success? Because if we are working towards achieving it, we have this kind of goal or shining medal in front of us that we want to achieve. But once we are there, also sustaining, it's a work. I realized that you were opening me to the awareness that experiment becomes then the key. Once you're willing to try and make mistake, fail, recover, adapt, you also need to challenge yourself a little bit more. And tell me about those tell me about experimentation, and then maybe we can explore three levels of it.
amazing. The basic thing about experimentation and what really need to happen first before talking about experimenting is curiosity. If you are not curious about the business, if you don't start asking like they may seem to be basic questions, but they are very powerful questions. Like why this thing isn't working and how can I make it better? Two key questions here. And this curiosity is the key driver to experimentation. Once you start thinking like why this thing isn't working or how can I make it better, then you will come up with new ideas and new experimentations. And so there are three levels of experimentations here. The very first one are opportunities. Opportunities. So you start looking at what you are doing today and you start identifying what is in your business activity or your marketing strategy. So this might be an opportunity. And your objective here is to get a quick win. It's something that you can implement immediately and get some immediate results. Because let me tell you one thing, most people think that growth marketing is only for the long term growth. And when you look at opportunity that you have right now, you can implement today and get immediate results. These are like short term wins that you can do today. And most companies miss on those opportunities. So that's the very first level to experiment on new opportunities that you identify quickly and you can get immediate results. The second level of experimentation is when you look at what you already have. Like when you look at what you already
Mm.
have, you start digging deeper into the numbers and you look at what things you can improve on what you are currently having.
And maybe we
Yeah,
can call it optimization,
it's optimization. So
optimizing what we have already. I like where we are
exactly.
going because when we speak about opportunity, it really seems the present here. You leave it or you take it, and you need also to be quite fast in making the decision of risking, accepting all the consequences. I take it, I risk it, and I can also accept the fact that you know to experiment, I might be right, I might be wrong, and then optimization is somehow going into the past, what I've been doing in the past, what is already here, and try to make it better, to make it new, and adapt it to the new circumstances towards a vision we
Absolutely.
have. Interesting.
Absolutely. So here we talk about gaining efficiencies, reducing costs, improving margins, and overall speaking, getting better results. That's how you start optimizing. And then, like the third level, once you are done with opportunities and you are good in optimization, also you can look at innovation. This is where you want to go
Wow.
to a
Mhm.
completely new direction, explore completely new things. Like maybe you can innovate with new technology, you can launch new product, you can go into new markets, you can try completely new things and innovate. Like today, one of the most hot topics is artificial intelligence,
Artificial intelligence.
and you can see how all these companies are creating completely new set of streams or revenue streams and new product innovating through AI. So this is something that you can explore into innovation. Another example is you see those retail companies and big brands investing into NFTs. This is also a new tech. So innovating into this space will create a completely new set of opportunities for you that you can try and test and then optimize.
So amazing. Opportunity is present, optimization make better what you have already created in the past, and innovation is about future, future,
Future.
future, and also being, kind of visionary. And sometimes you can really create something that nobody has even think of before, thought of before. So it's interesting. So experiment, experiment, experiment.
And
Of course,
learn.
in the journey of experimentation, even if you are the CMO, the chief marketing, the head of marketing, you cannot do that alone. Either if you decide to take an opportunity, you still want a group of a bunch of people in your team that support you and they make them happen. Same thing with optimization. They all have to be willing to always thrive and to always look for customer excellence or best practices or professionalism, accountability, and at the same time, even when you want to innovate, and this is, I think, it's quite general for all the leaders, the executive, and also the entrepreneur. Sometimes you have a clear vision, but it's very hard to bring everybody on board. And if they are not on boarded with your vision, that it's very tough. That's why the second blocker for the growth in general are the peoples.
Yes.
People are key to boost this growth. But again, the question is how, and this is where really the topic becomes super interesting also for our community and for us as Leah, because we know that this is really, when we're talking about people tapping into their strength, into their talent, into their efficiency, either as individual but also as team member, and most of all as leader of those teams. It's really where we love, it's our land. So what is your perspective? How can boost growth?
Well, first of all, like if we're not talking about people, imagine you are in a company, an organization. There's the CMO, there's the head of growth, there is the digital marketing specialist. There are other people working on your marketing activities, but each one of them working on its own personal goals and working in different directions. You see, nothing's gonna happen, right? Everybody's go spreading themselves very thin, working on different things, but nothing consistent will get out in place and get more impact to the business. So, in order to avoid this, the first key factor to boost growth and develop the people performance is to get alignment. Alignment is like the very first thing to do. Growth leaders, CMOs, and top management and executives, they want to make sure that all the entire team is aligned with the same goals, the same objectives. And those marketing initiatives or those experiments that are running today, they should be aligned with the overall and the big business goals. So everybody is working on toward the same direction, and the end result is aligned with that direction. Otherwise, all the job that I've been doing, it just makes no sense, right?
And if I add an extra layer in this alignment, you also really want to make sure, being an executive or a leader of that team, that what you're trying to achieve together with your team and together with your organization, because you also have business objective, it's also aligned with yourself to start with, because it's really hard to put all your energy, all yourself into that if you are the first one that it feels a little bit, this choice is not the resonant one. I know I need to experiment, but I'm scared of it. So there's a lot of also self and individual growth that each leader and executive needs to look at, because yes, we might know on the paper, this is where we have to go, this is where I want to go, this is where we decided we will go, this is where the business want me to go. But then if we're not 100% with all the part of ourselves willing to do that, and we
Exactly.
have some sabotaging, and some resistance, we're not aligned. So alignment is on three level. Is the person aligned, the executive, the leader? Is he able to bring into alignment all his team and the peer, the other member, the other decision maker? And is this aligned with the business objective of the entire organization? So this is
Absolutely.
definitely key. Another thing
Absolutely.
we were talking about is the talent development. And this is a big, big topic.
Big topic. Absolutely.
Skills versus development. Tell me about it.
Actually, like growth leaders and CMOs and top executives, I'm gonna say like if you want to inspire people to achieve even better result and work smoother and more efficiently, then talent development should be a top priority and you should invest on the human side of the business. Your people. Those people, they are the ones who are going to do the job for you and with you. So investing in them and making them like understand the roles, the responsibilities in the team, and empower them with the right knowledge, skills, and tools to get things done more correctly and efficiently is another key factor to boost growth and to align all the team together.
So when we talk about recruitment, and this is my background, I was a former recruiter, it's definitely important that we already start, looking into our candidates, not only the practical skills or the background, the degree, etc., but we are also keening into finding people that thinks a little bit out of boxes, that are a little bit disruptive, and at the same times we don't only want to find certain type of energy, certain type of people. We also want our team to be diverse culturally, diverse in terms of background, diverse in terms of languages, experiences, industry. So sometimes we think that, okay, we work in that industry, we want a person that has an experience in that industry only. Well, when it's a very fast changing and we are really driving towards growth, experimentation might also come. What if I take somebody that it's from a completely different industry, for example? What will be the added value, the added perspective of that person that has a
Mhm.
completely learning mind? Um,
Absolutely.
So diversity is key, and then also being able to detect the strength of each and any person and work on their enhanced peculiarities rather than looking at what they are
Individuality.
missing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
talent, it's a big topic.
absolutely. I just want to
um,
add something here because when we
yes.
talk about growth teams, we typically talk about cross-functional teams. So they should be like diversity and cross knowledge and cross competencies is part of how we should be building and structuring growth teams. Not only tech, but it should be like tech, product development, marketing, maybe some psychologists and some people who specialize in consumer behavior, copywriters, like different types of skill set and talents to make those experiments a success.
Absolutely, and I really like it. Once we have, uh, you know, we have the alignment, we have amazing talents on board. What else can go wrong?
Well, there is something that a lot of people can ignore and don't think about, but it is trust. Trust.
Yeah,
Trust
so
is
how they do interact with each other,
how do they
and what is
communicate
the
with each
type.
other? Exactly. How do they communicate? How they collaborate? Do they feel safe to expose and to express their ideas? Or they kind of feel like being rejected and not being open to discussion? How are they going to accept, like you remember from the mindset, accept criticism and feedback and accepting to failure if there's no trust between the team? If
Or
that's
also just
a
simply how they gonna trust the idea of their manager to do a crazy experiment that might also end in a crash. But when there is trust, we are all together, either if we fail or we succeed. And actually,
absolutely.
there's no failure, there's only learning. So
Yes.
how can we navigate in being able to throw out idea as crazy as they might sound, because we want to grow. How we do manage setback, how do we do manage failure itself, how do we manage changes if they need to happen quickly, has
Hmm.
been proved that a trustworthy team and a psychological safe team can navigate through difficulties and challenges much faster. The capacity of
Absolutely.
adapting, of not being scared of vulnerability, the capacity of adapting your vision, or adapting actually the actual scenario to the vision you have very, very quickly and recover quickly. This could also this could only help if you can tap in the power of the other member of the team, because it will be
Hmm.
very hard to do it alone. Most of
Absolutely.
all, if that person who is alone is the leader, right? Then you ends by having maybe a leader who is very stressed, who is micromanaging, try to keep everyone together, wasting a lot of energy. When if trust is there, is the trust itself will keep the people engaged and all together. So trust is definitely the core, of what we do. What first things that we do when we enter working with our workshop and team workshop is always to check how is psychological safety, what are
Absolutely.
the level of trust that we have here, because even before you build strategy, even before you build idea, you really need that fertile soil, that very solid foundation that can allow you to take risk and to change.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree.
So I guess now it's time to think about and talk about the third growth blockers. Once we have tapped into, yes, definitely the experimentation and the mindset, then we talked about the people, and the third one, more, data related, more actual based, is the systems
The systems.
and the questions all the marketers need to answer. How do we track it, the return of investment of everything that we have been doing? How can we do that?
Well, before we talk about the how, there's one thing I want to say and keep saying every single time, something that we should and must remember. We can only optimize things that you can measure. So anything in marketing, in sales, and in business overall, whenever you want to think about improving and optimizing and even innovating, we want to measure our marketing activities. We want to keep track of them. So that's the rule of thumb. That's the golden rule to tracking and measuring the marketing return on investment. So in order to do that, there are three simple steps we can do. First, we start by documenting our strategy. What is the current customer journey? How we get new customers from scratch. That exact same process and the touch point that your client will go through to be converted from complete strangers to customers and then to fans that will get you even more referrals. That's step number one, document your strategy. Once you are done with that, you put in the numbers, you put in the metrics, what you should be measuring in order to know what's working, what's not, and what you should optimize. So, here is the tool that we use in my workshops and my coaching. We create a table where we put all the metrics. We put in like the previous results and the objectives we want to achieve, and we keep tracking them week after week. So here we can see exactly what's in green, like it's working very well. What's in yellow means average and maybe might need more attention, or what's in red. And wherever there is a red, this is where we should start optimizing. And of course, part of these metrics we should put in this table. You can start with an Excel sheet, a very simple Excel sheet where you put your formulas and you start calculating. And one of these metrics is the marketing ROI. So whenever you start optimizing, experimenting, you want to know what is the impact of those experiments on the bottom line of the business, on your revenues, and on your marketing return on investment. Once you do that, you should be able to at least keep track of your marketing activities and keep what's working and maybe scaling up and stop what is not working so you can go to other stuff. Once you do this, now the last step is, remember, you are not alone, right? You are with a team. You are with a team with people on your side. So you want to take those numbers, discuss them with your team, and see exactly what's happening. Like those experiments, are we winning? Are we failing, like between brackets, or are we learning new stuff? So what was a win? What was a fail? What did we learn? And what we should do next. So challenging these questions with your team will help you keep improving and optimizing your marketing ROI. These are like the three simple steps to track, measure, and optimize your marketing return on investment.
Great, amazing. You were also mentioning to me something about, a growth strategy. Um, can you tell us more about it? And maybe also the importance we're saying of documenting it.
Yeah, sure. Like, uh, you know, I think I don't have like a very statistical confidence about this number, but from all the entrepreneurs, companies, and startups I work with, like maybe 1% of them have a documented strategy. The big majority, they don't. They have the strategy in mind. They know, like they have like a bunch of marketing activities working around, but to put it like in a very clear and precise way to see the flow of the customers, that's where they struggle. That's what they really they struggle. And once we do that, like the amount of clarity they start looking, they see it like, okay, now I see. Now I understand why things are not working for me. I have this huge gap in my strategy. And they start saying, okay, now I see the opportunities here. So just by putting it in, and it's one pager document, it's not like very long report or very complex stuff. It's one pager, and we document the strategy on 6 steps of the customer journey. How do they know about us? How do we make them sign up to our lists? How we make them like and love what we do? How we can try our product or service? What is our revenue model? How we can make money and what we are selling? How we can make them come back to buy more and more often? And finally, how we can make them talk about us to their friends and colleagues. So simple steps that describe the entire customer journey, but doing it like at least once will make a big shift in your business and
And
give
I
you
really love the
clarity.
combo and the balance between I want to experiment, I go crazy, I completely go out of boxes, I completely try, but at the same time, you also document. So it's not
Exactly.
about being, it's a very nice connection between being rooted and being with your head within the cloud. And I think that this is also give the strength to it. Yes, we experiment, we go crazy, we even challenge ourselves, but always with a specific objective, always being able to remember, why am I doing what I'm doing? Is no, it doesn't have to be just for the sake of experiment. You always have to belong to a strategy that it's clear and that it's tangible
Absolutely.
and written. Then we were also talking about the scorecard. Is
Exactly.
this the green, yellow, orange you were mentioning before?
Yes. Yes. Here I want to add something about the scorecard. Like working with entrepreneurs and leaders and CMOs on this scorecard, there is one thing I want to make it clear. People like when we talk about metrics, people have the tendency to go measure everything, and we end up like having maybe 20 or 25 or 50 metrics. This doesn't help. It doesn't help. What it really helps is to get like the one metric that really matters for you to measure and to improve. Those metrics can change over time, but don't try to measure everything. It doesn't help you, it just gets you even more confused. Try to focus on what is important to you right now, like at least for one quarter, and work on that. Get aligned on that metric, and all the experimentation or everything you want to do should be aligned with that metric. So at least by the end of the day or by the end of the month or the quarter, when you measure, of course, you're measuring on recurrent basis, but by the end of the quarter, you know what was the end result. How did I really improve this metric? So here with the framework of OKRs and KPIs, like we work to really set these main objectives and key results. So make sure we are focused on what really matters, so we don't get lost in everything.
Absolutely. And then, as you were saying, after those things are in place, you can measure, you can track your progress, and you can, you know, involve your team member in doing the same, and eventually keep challenging either yourself, the organization, and the other people, with always remembering about alignment.
Hmm.
There's so many things related to marketing and to return of investment and to growth that they seem, from the conversation we are having, are very peculiar about marketing itself. But actually, everything that you have shared is not that diverse for any other type of growth strategy, even if it's not simply marketing related. Uh,
Hmm.
Imagine I want to grow my reputation, or I want to grow my credibility, even
Hmm.
to my LinkedIn connection, or I
Hmm.
want to grow my personal results. How can I do
Absolutely.
that? So this is definitely applicable as a strategy for growth in general.
Hmm.
And growth need to be measured. Now I got as an intuition the funny image when as parents we measure our kids and we put all the things on the wall,
Yes,
and
yes, you all
maybe
did.
50 years later you look back at that wall and you're like, wow, we can still
Exactly.
see the results,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
growth in general is, I mean, my company is called Leah Growing People. So for me, growth is everywhere, that for sure. Um, but thank you very much for bringing today the perspective of a marketer that might be very as helpful for people who are in marketing already as entrepreneur, but also as executive, but not
Absolutely.
only, so how can we take this perspective and apply this somewhere else in other area of our life? I'm very excited that you are coming over, because you're not simply coming over just to, for tourism, but you are also coming over to bring in Dubai a workshop that it's going much more in detail on those and many more concepts, of course, about growth marketing and strategy. So we're very happy to announce publicly that at the 11th and the 12th of October, now they are coming, so it's not that far. Mahmoud will be here in Dubai running a growth marketing strategy workshop, when he will tap on those concepts and many, many more, because it's 2 days workshop. And we want to invite you to save your seat if you are curious about this topic, and also on how you can apply those things in other area of your growth. This is definitely an event not to miss out. Is there something that you want to add, Mahmoud, regarding the workshop?
I just want to say one thing. Like, it's not a lecture. It's not a conference. It's really a workshop. It's gonna be very interactive, and like people will apply this concept during the workshop to their businesses. They can bring their own case studies, their own project, and apply them. It's gonna be very interactive. We're gonna share a lot of case studies. We have this peer-to-peer learning during the workshop. It's gonna be like a very rich learning experience and practical experience mostly. That's one
Yeah,
thing I
and
want to
what I
add.
imagine is that people will come out from this workshop with a very clear idea on how their growth strategy will go. Also,
Hmm.
tapping in the perspective and the experience of people that maybe might come from different culture, industries, different background. So, hearing their growing process, and learning about and hearing about their background, their experience, their challenges is always a massive growth for whoever is participating. So it's quite
Absolutely.
new, quite unique. I really wish you a lot of success for this workshop.
Thank you, Elena.
And if you want to know more about Mohammed and his profile, his bio, his background, his certification, his services, feel free to look into our website under our team. Mahmoud Tatari, you'll find everything about him. You also can easily connect directly with him to know more about his upcoming workshop or knowing about his services in general. I'm very, very grateful for the time we spent together. Thank you
Same
so much.
here. Likewise. Thank you very much,
A lot of
Elena. Thanks.
insight, and thank you for everybody who is listening, and feel free to share those contents with whoever belongs to this industry or you think you might be interested. This is not the last one. So Mahmoud will keep running those workshops everywhere he goes. So stay tuned, and thank you so much, Mahmoud.
Thank you very much, Elena. Thanks everyone who's been watching us today, and we're looking forward to meet you in Dubai.
See you soon, everyone.
Bye bye. Thanks.